Welcome to another episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. I am your host, Mary Ann Pack, spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate, guiding you into all things life transformational. And I have a dear friend with me that I want for us to visit with today. She's been on the podcast before, so go look for her podcast previously this year. Robin Finney is with me, my dear friend and colleague.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Mary Ann.
Oh, thank you for coming and spending your time with us. And Robin and I met through Darla Ledoux, through Sourced Experience. And we were in a year-long coaching program together. We got to retreat together. We got to be in person. We've visited on Zoom calls, and we have just enjoyed each other's growth and transformation through all the tears and the joys.
Yes.
They're all part of our journey. So Robin's website is wanderingant.com, and we'll talk a little bit about that real quick. But we want to jump right in. Who is Robin, and what good do you bring into the world?
Yeah. So thank you for having me back again. And so I am an oracle, intuitive, and authenticity guide. And I really believe that I am here to create safe spaces and inspiring spaces for others to be seen and heard so that they can be received with love. Because I believe at the core of being human, that's what we all want and desire. And so through whatever I'm doing, no matter what it is, whether it's consulting or coaching or doing an oracle card reading, or you're taking my course, anything, or going on a trip with me, that is my foundation. So I want each person to feel like, and to know that they matter and are here for a reason.
Absolutely. That worthiness, that value, that yes, I'm worthy to take up this space. I love that. And you call yourself an intuitive and authenticity guide. So explain that just a little bit more to us, because our topic today is owning your rhythm. So in relation to that, move us right into your topic of owning your rhythm.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as an intuitive, I am a channel for channeling messages from source, from the divine, from my deep inner knowing out into the world. And that's even with myself. It's like we all have intuition within us. And it's kind of that innate knowing, that deep knowing within. And so I have that at my core. And then authenticity is really aligning myself and others, because we're always doing the work alongside our clients, to really own their beautiful, authentic selves. And ownership, like that term, that's really been showing up a lot for me over the past few years, but really over the last year and a half, since I've been a bit more grounded. For those who know me, who have been following my journey, I'm a nomad, and I'm traveling all over the world and visiting amazing places, different countries. And I've been grounded back in Dallas. And it's been a journey of learning to go inward. Whereas before I was outward and seeking wanting to be lit up by places and experiences. And so this past year and a half has really taught me to find that within myself and tune inward and really build up my own deep knowing and trust within myself. And so when I look at that, I think about like owning your own rhythm. And there's always been like this pressure from the outside world, whether it's pressure from your family, from your friends, from society. If you are working for a company, pressure from your boss, from your team, or if you're working with a coach or working with whoever it is, it's just like that collective pressure that we all feel at times. And this past time of being in the pandemic's really taught me that nothing is certain in life. And also it's like we can go through so much and come out so much stronger, but we have to start at our core, and we have to start with how we best operate, how we're designed. And so it's setting boundaries for ourselves so that we can own our rhythm, our timing, our pace in that way.
Because we're not living conditionally then.
Right.
If we're owning who we are and our pace, our rhythm, our swells and dips, and, then there's much more ease and flow. It's not like a jolt of a stop and start.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like, rhythm. You think about rhythm, you think of ease and flow, you think of a flowing. So what problem do you help your clients solve? What kind of transformation do they receive when they work with you? Because you have so many different kinds of programs, and, looking forward again to, traveling and doing the international modeling and helping people be able to do the same thing and be enlivened by who they are. So what is that transformation?
Yeah. So the transformation really, it starts with clarity and getting clear on who you are, who you came here to be, and who you want to show up as. And so it's really tuning into your authentic self, and that allowing that aspect of you to shine no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're doing an amazing VIP photo shoot experience, or you're going on an epic confidence building journey in another country with me, or you're sitting down and going through an Oracle course. It's really like learning to identify within yourself, like, who am I and why am I afraid to show my fullest expression and my authentic self to others and to the world?
Absolutely. That's so necessary, to find both sides. You want this, but where's my block? What am I not seeing that's stopping me from moving forward? So the clarity that you help them receive is so important to them moving forward. So everybody's approach is different in the way they coach or the way they work. And so what makes your approach very Robin-like? What's unique about your techniques or your tools that you use, or just even the principles that you work through?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have a gift for holding space for others and really allowing them, as I said at the beginning, my core mission is creating space for others to be seen and heard. So I really have a gift for holding space in that way and mirroring that back to others so that they are really hearing for themselves. Because sometimes we can speak something out loud and we're not necessarily hearing it. And so it's me reflecting that back so that you can get that and you can hear, because so often we're so in our heads when we're talking that we're not actively listening. Yes. So that's something that I really admire about myself, I'll say, in my work, because I really do have a gift in that way. And just creating a space where people feel safe. I've noticed through the years, and this is something that before I recognized that I'm an intuitive and highly sensitive. And if you follow Darla Ledoux and her work and you take her magic quiz, I'm a sensation magician. And so I feel things. It's like I really feel it in my body. And so I have noticed now as I'm meeting strangers and stuff, I've had more times than I can count people say, I've never told anybody this before, or I don't know why I'm telling you this, and it's like they just will open their heart to me, complete strangers, or people that I barely know, or people that I really know well. And so I recognize in myself that I have this like quality that within me it creates safety for others so that they feel that you're a safe person. I feel safe opening myself up to you. And so that when you're working with me, that's really, I think, two of the biggest things that I embody. And then aside from that, just bringing in my level of experience and traveling all over and taking big leaps into the unknown, leaving, like, kind of letting go of things in life, material things and things like identities, things within ourselves that we hold on to. So there's a combination of that comes together with my work.
I love that. I love that you hold that safe, sacred space. So there's not that level of outside fear. They can let their guard down.
Yeah.
And that's so freaking important, to be able to give ourselves permission to shine more brightly of who we are. And maybe we just need somebody to hold that space to let us practice.
Yeah.
There's times when we have to practice our little tiny gift, because it needs to be nurtured still. And that's what your container of support do for your clients. You allow them to nurture who they really are, those authentic, in the core, I am this, and now I'm trying to own it. Now I'm learning to own it. Now I'm accepting. So our mess is our message, and we all have messes. So what was the mess that you transformed through to be able to present this kind of work? Because everybody has a story, and I love stories. So you have to tell me a story.
Yeah. I feel like it's been very messy for many, many years. And I've learned in the past few years to really walk the talk and be a model for that. And it's interesting, the correlation, because I do model as on the side. It's just something that as my mission of modeling and photo shoots. And so one day I like connected the two, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because it's like I'm modeling in my photo shoots to like really step into and embody who you are. Like I set an intention for each place that I'm in and each space that I'm in personally. So it's like I've had some where you see like the biggest, brightest light in my eyes and smile on my face, to capturing myself in a vulnerability shoot after a breakup and being just sad and in tears. And so it's been learning through that process that it's okay to show up and be seen. And I think you and I have this similarity with our backgrounds, our religious backgrounds, of it wasn't okay. Like, it wasn't okay to be loud. It wasn't okay to speak up. Like, we had to stay quiet. And so I think just like from growing up of just constantly being a vibrant child, but then being told like, oh, it's too much, you need to tone it down, or you're talking too loud, or stop, this isn't the time to be laughing or crying, you need to calm yourself. And so I think just like through that process, and even as an adult, like noticing, like I recognized years ago, before I think it was like really when I started my journey of transformation, that I used to pride myself in only crying like twice a year.
Oh my.
Like I would just suck it up and shove it down, suppress it, because I associated tears with weakness. And it wasn't until I allowed myself to get vulnerable with myself first and foremost, and then allowing others, like letting other people in. And now I joke that my favorite place to cry is on an airplane, because it's like, you're not going anywhere. You're not distracted by the outside world. So it's like the best place for you to sit with yourself. And a lot of times many emotions start coming up. And so I've learned to just have the ugly tears. And if people look at me or ask what's wrong, they'll be like, I'm just processing. I'm just releasing. It's okay.
Right. And that's so interesting for you to say, because, your reaction was to suppress, and my reaction was to cry every day,
Hmm.
because of guilt or shame, or, to be coerced into the dogma and the rules and all that. So for me, the tears were, oh, well, that's good because I'm making progress. I'm getting better, you know. So it's so interesting how, a similar background, a similar religious structure or dogma, how it affects us so differently,
Yeah.
So um I love that. I love that you're able to let those things come out now. And and working through that, to, again, it's always allowing ourselves permission to just be who we are and feel all the feels and move forward and still move forward. We don't have to wallow in it forever. It will change. This too shall pass. So
Yeah.
there's always that glimmer of hope, and we need coaches to help us
Yes.
see through that.
And I think there's the balance too, where it's, some people have, like, I've been on both sides where it's like, I've been the victim, I've played the victim role, and that's how I would attract people to me.
Oh, yeah.
Woe is me. This is my life. This is what's going on. And then it was almost harder for me to take on, like, experiencing joy and expressing joy and allowing that part of myself to be seen, because I was so used to numbing myself, or like, just kind of like, I mean, women a lot of times, which we've gotten so much better over the years, but it has been ingrained to just kind of like diminish who we are and our skills and everything. And so I noticed that just in the mess, you talk about the messes in the message, that's been a big part too. Like, when I left corporate life, it's like I left an identity behind, and I didn't know who I was, what I was doing. And so I was almost afraid to talk about my work and my creations because it wasn't anything like what I was doing before. And I was afraid that either people wouldn't take it seriously and think like, oh, this is just Robin doing another one of her things. Or that it would, I don't know, that it would be real. And so it was like scary to talk about it in that way.
Yeah. And for some of us, you're a manifesting generator also.
Yes.
So am I. It's like we have to touch our toe in it.
Yeah.
To try it out first, to see, is this really lasting? Is this enthusiasm? Is it actually turning into a passion? Or is it, oh no, I don't have the right gut feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. There's just so many times it's like, oh, it's just another thing Mary Ann's trying. So I get that. And I'm sure there are many of your clients who have felt the same way, that just need that, again, that permission, that safe space that you create in your containers. So I know you have a book coming out, a chapter in a book. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yes. So I am part of the Be the Beacon anthology with Ladies Power Lunch and Green Heart Living with Dr. Davia Shepherd and Elizabeth Hill. And I'm so excited about this particular topic because, one, I'm excited to see what everybody, like, it's just amazing. It's been reading everybody else's journeys and how we all come from a different space about what it is to be a beacon. And really, for me, it was quite a challenge for me to write this chapter. I started out, when I was first presented, Elizabeth had reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in writing a chapter. And I thought, initially my gut was like, yes, you love writing. Yeah, of course, you'll do it. And then when I actually sat down to write, I was just flooded with imposter syndrome and who am I? Because I was kind of in a darker space at the time. And this was back in towards the end of spring, and I was just going through some stuff and questioning, like I was just like not clear what I was doing. And because my work had kind of like was going in different stages, because life was happening, and I was trying on different things. And so I thought, well, who am I to write this chapter? And I sat down and I started writing, and I thought, I was just like in tears and was like, I can't write this. I can't write this chapter. I'm not a light. I'm in a dark space, all of this. And so I've reached out to the Writers Hive, to the group, and I was like, you know what, Robin, if you are all about teaching others and modeling for them what it is to be seen and heard, then it's time for you to step into that yourself. And so I posted in the group and just said, like, hey guys, I sat down to write this chapter and I do not feel qualified to write it at all. My business isn't where I wanted, I thought it would be at this point. I don't feel like I'm a light in this world. And that's where I was. And just writing that and hitting submit was, even that in itself was enough. I was like, oh, okay, I did it. It wasn't scary. And I almost took it down, but then I was like, no, you put it out there, leave it. And then I just received the most beautiful validation from the others who were part of the book. And it just like really, it made such a difference to allow myself to be seen and received and validated the way that I do for others. And I recognize that I haven't been doing that for myself, and that I'm afraid to be vulnerable in that way. And so that was really healing and big for me. And so it still took me some time. I like wrote some other stuff, and then I was like, that doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. And in my true manifesting generator ways, I need a deadline, but not just a deadline. I need to like push myself up to the deadline, and I need a fire lit within me. And so I had, like the week before the project was due, Liz reached out to me and she said, hey, Robin, do you have your final chapter? And I said, no, but give me a deadline and I'll get it to you. And she said, okay, can you get it to me by Friday? And this was like on a Tuesday. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And I did. I wrote my chapter in a night, but it was enough time for me to work through all of that.
Right.
And then it just flowed out of me. And so I knew that it was like the right timing for that.
Yes. So you were owning your rhythm.
Yes, I was owning my rhythm, and just noticing too that it was like I wasn't in that space at that time, and I still ended up writing some of the things of where I was, but from a different perspective.
Oh, yes.
It was very different. And so my chapter is all about this same topic, about owning your rhythm and just trusting in divine timing. Because so often we can see, especially if you're a visionary, it's like we can see the big picture, see it playing out, and then we forget that it takes time for things to birth and come to life. And so that was a big process for me with that. And in my chapter, I'm writing about my own work and my own visions, and just kind of letting go of that pressure, because not only is there the pressure of that from the outside world in the sense of like, just do it, That's a big common phrase in our society. But then there's also the aspect of, which we've felt a lot during the pandemic, is life is short. What are you waiting for?
Oh, yes.
So I find that there's a balance between that, because it's like, yes, what are we waiting for? And it's always constantly like stopping and asking, like, am I ready for this? Is it the right time? And then that's where your intuition comes in and really can hold you. And that's where a coach can come in and support you if you're feeling very clouded and foggy and not in a space to do that for yourself.
Absolutely. Because I am, as everyone knows, I am such a huge proponent of coaching, because we don't take the little league coach with us all the way to the pros. We have a new coach at every level, and it doesn't stop when we hit the college, when we get our degrees. It's lifelong. We need a coach at every season. So you can work with Robin at her website, wanderingant.com/services. And these notes, these will be in the show notes. The links will be in the show notes. And your Be the Beacon is launched next Monday, October the 18th. I am so excited for you all that got to be in this book. It's in, of course, collaboration with Ladies Power Lunch, just like this podcast is. So ladies, if you're looking for a group, a supportive free Facebook group, Ladies Power Lunch is the place to be. Robin and I are both active members in this group and is very supportive. So you can find them under groups under in Ladies Power Lunch or their website, ladiespowerlunch.com. And this Be the Beacon is one aspect of the support that you find within Ladies Power Lunch. Robin has gotten to be an author. You've been in other of their books also, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, this is an opportunity for you to tap into resources. When this book comes out next Monday, October the 18th, be sure and get this book. It's called Be the Beacon. Robin's chapter will be in it. There are many other of the ladies that are in Ladies Power Lunch that will be in this book because it's an anthology. So what other ways just mention some of the other ways that people can work with you when they go to your services?
Yes, absolutely. So if you are ready to really step into who you are and own who you are, you can schedule a VIP photo shoot experience with me. And it's either virtual, where I will plan everything out for you and walk you through the process, or in person, where I will actually go in person and meet you somewhere and organize everything and be there alongside with you. And you can also join my waiting list for solo experiences, which are curated experiences for a small group where I support you in gaining confidence. And we have challenges, and it's for people who want to solo travel, but they're really not ready to do it on their own. So it's fun to do it in a group. And so you can go ahead and join the wait list and see when the next trip will be for that. And then I do have one-on-one coaching available, as well as my Oracle course. So lots of opportunities and fun ways to connect.
Yes. And you also have a clarity session, right?
Yes. I have a deep clarity session, and then also a side project, which Ladies Power Lunch, when you're in that, or if you read Dr. Devia's book, Grow Smarter, Not Harder, it's all about collaboration. And so Elizabeth Hill and I are collaborating, and we just recently launched a Writer's Haven coaching program, and it's not too late to join. So if you are wanting to write your own book, whether you've started or you have an idea of a memoir or inspirational book, you can join our program, and we will support you along the way with everything that you need, from blocks and mindset to how to publish your book.
Awesome. What a wonderful opportunity. So any of you all that have a book inside, which most of us do, have multiple books inside, contact Robin and let her introduce you to that. It's a Writer's Haven. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you, Robin, for being my guest. I so appreciate you spending your time with us and sharing all your beautiful gifts to the world. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Marianne. It's a pleasure to be back on the show with you and with your audience.
Absolutely. And as always, be sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast, as it helps my work go into the world and spread more joy, because as a joy advocate, I want to sprinkle that stuff everywhere. And being able to interview these beautiful coaches, intuitive light workers, shamans, business coaches, what have you, these folks are the ones that help you on your transformational journey. These are the coaches we hire on down the road, and every season needs a coach. So you're also invited to visit our website, maryannpack.com, for all of our services. All the links will be in the show notes for you to contact Robin at wanderingant.com. And do you have any parting words of wisdom you would like to leave us with today?
Yeah, just trust in your timing and how you best operate. And sometimes that might be that you wake up in the middle of the night and get struck with a spark of inspiration, and that's your time to shine. And other times it might be early in the morning or whenever it is. Trust in your timing and your rhythm.
Yes, yes, yes. Own your rhythm. This is perfect. We all have an individual that we don't have a rhythm that's in alignment with anyone else. It's our own personal core rhythm that is a signature, a thumbprint of who we are. So own it, ladies. Thank you again, Robin. I appreciate you. And remember, everyone, you are joy looking for a way to express.